The event today meant for me to be proud as my identity, to feel part of a warm, supportive community. It meant the world for me today because there is so much hate right now and it's so unsafe for Jewish people outside of Israel right now. And I think it's really making me feel belonging. When I see my community, hundreds of people came here today to celebrate who we are and say no to anti-Semitism and condemn Hamas terrorism. And it's just really makes me feel good that I have my community here with me while being so far away from my home country, from Israel, my family and friends. I feel deep sorrow for any innocent lives that are harmed in this conflict, including the Palestinian lives. And I think that a lot of those people that join the Palestinians protests don't have the full picture of what happened in the 7th of October and don't have the full picture of what's going on now with the hostages and don't really understand what Hamas is. So when I see some of those protests, I feel that ignorance could sometimes fuel the violence and hatred. And when people chant from the river to the sea, it just makes me feel haunted. It makes me feel like there are people out there that call themselves human rights activists and join these chants, but don't really understand which river they're talking about, which sea they're talking about, and don't actually understand that they are calling to eradication of Israel when they're chanting so. So I have mixed emotions about those protests, and they're making me feel sometimes unsafe, especially after what happened to Paul Kessler on Monday and his death following a pro-Palestinian protester hitting him on the head with a megaphone. So you can feel that freedom of speech and feeling free to be who I am, to be a Jew, to be an Israeli these days, is compromised by intolerance and violence.
And what advice would you have for people who feel helpless and don't know what to do?
That's a very good question, and I'm happy you asked it, because for me, to come here today and be connected with my community is the number one thing that makes me feel better these days. I think Shaina in her speech talked about it just before I talked as well. She talked about our friendship, about the connection between the Jewish community and the Israeli community in Brisbane and how it is valuable and appreciated, specifically in these dark days where we feel unsafe to be who we are. And I think that there are so many people out there, and you know, there is a joke that you can find Israelis in every hall around the world, you know, in Key West, in those islands, in places nobody goes to. And there is so much isolation that if you live in a city as big as Brisbane, you should really feel grateful that you have somebody that understands your pain and knows what happened and can give you a hug when you feel that pain. So very much appreciated the fact that we have our community here in Brisbane.
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Well, maybe I will just say again, I guess, the key message of my speech from before, that this is dark times for us, for Israelis and Jews, because we don't feel comfortable and safe to be who we are, but we shouldn't surrender and we shouldn't let the terror terrorize us and feel ashamed or apologize about who we are. We should be proud and brave and go out and stand for ourselves, because nobody else will. We have ourselves and we are strong enough to sustain our community. We are resilient and we have passed darker times than this, and we will continue. Am Yisrael Chai.
We are one. but we are many, and from all